In 1947, the Canadian chocolate bar industry was mostly controlled by just 3 companies. And all 3, on the same day, April 25th, raised the price of their chocolate bars by 60%, from 5 cents to 8 cents. All 3, the same day, with no notice. A little sus. Here, in the Vancouver Island town of Ladysmith, the local kids thought that it was sus too. And on that same day, they started a protest. Every day at lunch, they would march outside the local cafe, and then word spread. 4 days later in Victoria, 200 kids stormed the provincial legislature. On the mainland, a group took to their bikes and blocked the Kingsway thoroughfare. Edmonton, 300 kids marched down Jasper Avenue. They got a police escort for that. Toronto, a few days later, 500 kids blocked Bloor Street. Montreal, Calgary, Quebec City. On Parliament Hill, they were led by 10 buglers and carried signs reading, "We'll eat worms before we eat 8-cent chocolate bars." Sales of chocolate bars fell by a reported 80%. During the Winnipeg protest, it was said that not a single chocolate bar was sold in the city that day. We used to be good at protesting injustice in this country. And then something happened. Take cell phone plans. We have never been able to get a cell phone plan that doesn't make us feel like we're financing a small yacht for some executive in Toronto. God forbid I want to stream an entire episode of Schitt's Creek without putting my kidney on Kijiji. Canadian wireless rates are among the highest in the developed world. We pay double, sometimes triple what people in Europe pay. In France, $20 will get you unlimited data, unlimited calling, and a baguette. In Canada, $20 gets you 3 text messages and a very strongly worded letter from TELUS telling you to calm the fuck down. And even with those prices, I still can't drive from Nanaimo to Victoria without reception dropping out 12 times. In this country, like the chocolate industry 80 years ago, 3 companies control everything: Rogers, Bell, and TELUS. We call them the Big 3, like they're kind of a majestic sports dynasty, but really they're just the Sopranos with better branding. Why, if my channel weren't satire and protected under fair dealing laws, I'd suggest they've carved up Canada into a protection racket. Good thing I'm not suggesting that. Rogers gets Ontario, Bell gets Quebec, TELUS grabs the West, and if you live in the Maritimes, you're being simultaneously screwed over by all 3. And sure, every few years Ottawa comes around and says they're going to fix it, Competition Bureau this, CRTC that, but nothing ever changes. The government says we're making progress, and the Big 3 just smile and raise the price of roaming and buy another hockey team. And then I assume they all go golfing. We like to think of ourselves as polite, but somewhere along the way we confused polite with pushover. We'll grumble at the till, complain on Facebook, and then quietly pay up. But there is a solution to this, and it comes from our American imports. Americans have had cheap, unlimited internet plans since the 1800s. So my American friends, in return for a safe place to live with universal health care, here's what we need you to do. When you call to get a cell phone plan and they tell you the price, you say this: "What? Oh, hell no!" Because we can't. We're not built that way. Even though the few times we have fought back against gouging, we've often won. That kid's chocolate strike, it spooked the industry. An executive from the Moore's Chocolate Company raced to a CBC studio to defend the price increase. The Willard's Chocolate Company published a full-page ad in the Toronto Star with the headline, "5-cent chocolate bars just aren't possible now." Corporations don't stop when they've taken enough. They stop when we stop buying what they're selling. If thousands of kids in the 40s could rally against a 2-cent chocolate bar hike with nothing more than shoe leather and handwritten signs, what excuse do we have? With smartphones in our pockets and social networks at our fingertips, surely we can muster outrage over a phone plan that costs more than a week's groceries? Over grocery stores being full of California lettuce? Over banks charging record fees while posting record profits? Over Indigenous communities still waiting for clean drinking water? Or emergency rooms closing because we don't pay nurses enough? There are a lot of great things about this country, but there's also a lot of room to do better. And foreign shareholders cashing dividend checks are not going to be the ones to do it.
Have you seen my baby? She's not a dame nor a lady. Not in the way she walks, the way she talks, or the way she loves me. Just look at me, I'm like a monkey in a coconut tree. You know I'm overjoyed, 'cause boy, oh boy, she's my gal.